I was broke, like dead broke, just not a dollar to my name. And I was constantly thinking, like, is this worth it? Why am I doing this? Why am I still in the exact same vicious cycle that I was in prior to starting my business? Right. But that was just because I was still in a very negative mindset. Right. The thing that I was forgetting when I was reinvesting my money is that investment part of that word, right? All these things that I am buying, it's not a complete waste of money. Sure, right? I was spending the money, sometimes money that I didn't necessarily have, but those are all tools that I'm still using to this day that is complete profit, right? So it's taken a little bit of patience. And definitely it took a while for me to really get myself out of that mindset. Uh, but yeah,
I was muted. I didn't realize. So what I'm hearing from you is that you were struggling with a lot of doubt, like you were
hmm
constantly doubting yourself. You didn't have a sense of direction. You didn't know where you were going. So lots of struggle in terms of the self doubt, the confidence. Were you at any point like almost wanted to quit and kind of like get like a job, like a normal
yeah,
job because you needed to feed your family?
absolutely. Every day. Every day I'd wake up and I'd be like, why am I doing this? I could go and get guaranteed work somewhere else. But the problem is with that is I knew that if I did find guaranteed work, I wasn't going to enjoy it, right? I never really enjoyed working for somebody else. I always wanted to start my own company. I I really wanted to, to at least try that journey, right? Um, so yeah, I knew that I always wanted to kind of like have that as like a fallback plan, but I knew that it wasn't the right decision.
And I want to say to you, you are in a different place now. It feels different right now because now you know that the path. And I kind of want you because it's hard, right? Because you are in a different place than you were before. I almost want people to. I want you to almost remember where you were, so people can actually relate to their stories. Because I'm pretty sure people that are hearing your story, they have doubt about, am I gonna make it? Should I just get a job and feed my family? So, because those probably, from what I remember, those were probably the thoughts that were going in your head, like the fear, the scarcity. Right
For
now, you
sure.
don't have them, right? Because you have we have done rewiring, we have done all of these things. So your mind is in a different place, even the way that you talk, right?
Mhm.
Um, and for those people that are listening to this or watching this, so they probably have those thoughts. Probably they have that scarcity because it's scary. Like having your own business is a completely different animal, right?
Mhm.
But yeah. So anything else that you want to add of where you feel like you were that was negative, so people relate to you, to your story? Anything that you felt like were like your biggest worries or your biggest struggles at night when you were by yourself, pretty much?
Yeah, so essentially, like the biggest thing for me when it came to the business and the way that I felt was that I was just trying to almost find myself, find that my identity, not only, a business identity, but myself, right? I felt like I really just had no idea who I was anymore. Because I felt like I lost my purpose, right? My purpose was my work, my purpose was my family. So that was a whole journey within itself, right? So feeling like giving up was on the forefront 24/7, right? But I'm so thankful that I continued to push through, right? And I remember always having these thoughts is like I'm not one of those person. I'm not meant to do this. I'm not meant to have this success story. I'm not strong enough for this. And it always seemed to work out, no matter how close. And I've been real close, and you know how close I've been to losing everything,
Yeah,
even after we started our journey.
yeah,
It always worked out, right?
yeah.
And that just all comes down to persistence,
Were
right?
you?
You need to be persistent and just keep reminding yourself that these things do happen.
And
Owning a business, life in general, was a giant roller coaster, right?
No, absolutely. And I want to say something because you
Yeah.
did say persistence. Persistence is important. It is. However, I do not want to mislead people. Persistence is not enough. I mean,
Yeah.
persistence,
Yeah.
but there is certain hidden blocks, and without identifying the blocks, which is what Gage and I did, and removing them at the level that were created, which is unconsciously, you could be logically thinking, yeah, I should not be doing A, B, C, D. I should be confident. I should be doing this. Sometimes, no matter how much you try, like it won't stick in until you actually remove it at that level, which bring me to my next. Actually, I want to add something else before that question. But would you say, because you say something very interesting, that you never thought you would be one of those success stories, would you say that when you even watch that PDF guide with all the testimonials that I have, do you
Yeah.
even you question yourself, like, am I gonna even be one of these people? Do you question
Yeah.
that? You did?
It's funny because I remember when you were kind of like telling me about yourself and you were, I was, doing my research behind the entire program, and you do have the other people that you have done interviews with and case studies, and they have all these, amazing, amazing success stories,
Yeah.
right? Um, Pretty well every company has has their success stories, and a lot of them they do the video marketing that way. And I was kind of like, okay, like we'll see, everybody kind of does this. Did she like pay these people? But no, like this is 100% genuine. This is something that I don't think that I would be where I am today unless I really took that leap and decided to do this with you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, it definitely, 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 it has been a journey that
Mhm.
I feel honored, definitely, that I have worked with you. Now, bringing us to the next question, like share where where you are, like what results. And I will say, because at the end of the day, people want to know numbers, like
Yeah.
how what was not emotionally, like where you are mentally, emotionally, but also physically tangible, like what have you been able to make, what have you been able to create. If you could share tangibles, it would be great, and I think it will be beneficial for those people that are listening to this. They
Yeah.
are not going to understand the process, and you don't have to explain the processes, but if you could share like, yeah, the tangibles, like where do you feel like you are mentally now, like compared to where you were before, and also tangibles, like how much money have you been able to make, and I don't know if you're comfortable, but will
Oh,
you
for
be
sure.
sharing, like, actually no, I like to share whatever you want, whatever you want to
Sure.
share, but
Yeah.
oh, sharing a little bit of the financial struggle where you are compared to where you are now, will you share
Yeah.
that? Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely when I first started, like the financial struggle was extremely, extremely difficult, right? Like I was making 5K a month, but I wasn't personally making 5K a month, right? That was how much my business was making. And like I said earlier, pretty well every single dollar that I had was going right back into the company. Um, so there was nothing that I could really do on my own financially. Then it started to kind of pick up, pick up, pick up, and because of poor planning, we got into the winter. We had that seasonal change, and I had no idea what the heck I was going to do. Luckily, after a week or two, December actually was my weakest month still to this day. I think I made $2,200 in one of the most expensive months of the year. Um, I was extreme. That was one of the hardest months for me, not only financially but emotionally, because there's nothing as a father you feel terrible. You can't, give your kids the Christmas that that they deserve, right? So that was really, really hard. But I'm extremely glad that I pushed through because actually, as of January, after I spent the last 2 weeks of December really building my clientele for snow removal. January was my biggest month for the winter, and that was just under 15,000 I made in January. And then February and March, I made roughly around 12 to 13,000. I started kind of putting that money away because I was starting to, get more of an understanding of, how to kind of run a business, and I was getting a little bit more confident. So then when I started getting into the summer, I knew that I really wanted to get into lawn care. So when it was about around March or April, I was starting to meet with some clients. I realized I've had a couple real estate clients, and I realized that there was quite a bit of money to be made within the real estate market, and a lot of that has to do with just um, houses being constantly put on the market that need to be taken care of because A, sometimes the homeowners aren't living there, or B, the homeowners just don't really care about their lawn as much because they're in the middle of selling the place. So I made a lot of business relationships that way with real estate agents to take care of their properties and whatnot, like whatnot. Then that's when May came around. That's when I had the largest job that I was still to this day, the largest job I ever had, and that was the 4.5 acre farm. That one I actually just got through a Facebook group, and I couldn't believe that I got it. It's just
Well, you
kind of
have
like one of those.
the,
I Yeah,
the programming for it, right? Because before you couldn't, right? You couldn't because your mind was not in the place of receiving. The mind was not in the place of even being able to see those opportunities, and also whatever was holding you back. Which for those who don't know and don't understand, yes, there is practicality, there is action, physical action you need to take, but also if your mind is not on board, if there are certain hidden blocks that are holding you back, you unconsciously you will do self-sabotage. uh,
mhm.
we will not get into this, but your mind was ready. You were ready for whatever was coming. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah. So, and that was when you almost broke the ceiling, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I knew that there was a possibility of me getting this job, and this job was all the way in Milton, which, for everybody that knows from where I'm from, is a good 40-minute drive, and it's not a small job, right? So I knew that I would be constantly having to drive back and forth. And prior to this, I just had my pickup truck, so I would just kind of, put the tools that I had in the back of the pickup truck, but that doesn't leave too much room for when you need to deliver materials such as mulch or dirt or rocks or whatever, right? So that's when I decided that I was really gonna work extremely hard and take the next step and buy a trailer. The Yeah, so that was one of the largest milestones in definitely in since I started my business, because that was something that I never thought I was ever going to be able to do, right?
How much money were you able to make?
Yeah.
Can you just share?
Yeah, for sure. So then I bought the trailer, and then that's when I started the 4.5 acre farm. In 2.5 weeks from that job, it was just under $27,000 for those 2.5 weeks. And then after that, I took a couple days off, and then I worked the rest of the month, and I made $31,000 in the month of May. Yeah.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I want you to share if that's okay with you, because um, if you feel comfortable like sharing here, but how, because I remember your story was so inspirational to me because um, I honor I honor men like you, right? You're a provider. You're trying to provide for your family. And I remember when we did your evaluation and even like putting the deposit to work with me, and you were like, "But I have children, Joanne." And I remember
Mhm.
saying to you, Gage, if I didn't believe you will have a return of investment of whatever it is you're putting here, that you're gonna make way more money, I will not invite you to work with me. You remember?
Mhm.
And
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and because I take serious, right? When I do an evaluation, I will not work with you if I don't not believe that you can make double or triple or like 10 times more of whatever it is that you're gonna be investing. Like if I know, I will invite you. If I don't believe that I can help, I will never invite it because my reputation is in the line and also because of the guarantee that I offer. But can you share for those who are listening to this that are skeptical? what would you tell to those people that are like 1 foot in, or kind of like wondering and wanting to, like, what would you, almost like the old version of yourself, like
Yeah.
what would you tell these people, like, that are like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, like what would you
Yeah.
tell?
So it definitely, if you're unsure of the program, right? If you are feeling really lost, right? The one thing that I absolutely loved about you was that you were constantly just asking how I'm doing. Like we wouldn't even we wouldn't even have a meeting booked for like another few days ahead, but you would just be like, hey, how's it going? You were always there for me to make sure that everything was doing okay. You would always make sure that you would put time aside to, if I started to, kind of showing those signs of falling apart again, you'd be right there for me to make sure that, that you would get me back on track. Um, so yeah, if you are definitely unsure of putting yourself into a position where you feel like you're gonna be, kind of strapped for cash, but you have to realize that it all comes down to reinvesting, right? You're reinvesting in yourself. There's nothing more important in this world than yourself. You can have all the materialistic items, you can have a great successful business, but there's nothing more important than yourself. There's so many multi-million dollar companies out there that are run by miserable people, right? So why not guide yourself to success while also at the same time bettering yourself, right? You are attracting exactly what you put out, right? The point of attraction, the amount of times that you and I have talked about that, right? So, yeah, when if you were unsure about doing something like this, I would definitely take that into consideration. Is there's nothing more important than reinvesting in yourself, and I let me be an example that it's possible. It's possible for sure. Yeah.
And I think because it's important for a lot of people, like, I don't know if you remember, but you share like how quick you went from where you were
Mhm.
to making that $30,000 from us working together. Like, how long did it take you in terms of length?
So we started our meetings in February, and I had my $31,000 month in May. So was that 4 months, 3 months? Yeah.
On the I think it was 2 months and a half, because we
Yeah.
started at the end of February, right?
Mm.
So it would be March, May, 2 months. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right then. Uh, and just to finish this, anything else you want to share about where you feel like you are from where you and I started working together emotionally, mentally, uh,
Yeah.
in your life? Like, what other wonderful things have come, so other people can also live?
Yeah. So I wanted to add one more thing is like when you and I were first talking and you were kind of explaining everything about the program, you were talking about how you had a client that was making like, you know, about $10,000 a month, and she had like a relatively successful company, and then you got her to $20,000 a month. And like at the time I was like I would do anything to even make $10,000 a month. And that was my original goal that you and I talked about, was to get myself to that 10,000.
We
And
talked about that.
to be where I am today is like it's mind blowing. I cannot believe it. Right, my life has completely changed. My business is what I consider successful because I'm extremely happy with the way that it's running. I'm extremely happy with myself and the time that I put in. Um, I am now living back home with my wife and my kids. Yeah, so everything is just kind of all come together again, and I couldn't be happier with where I am today. And I always think about myself as like, man, like you doubted yourself for so long, but you knew it was in your mind, right? Your subconscious mind just kept being like, hey, like no, like there's a reason why you believed in yourself. There's a reason why you're continuing to do this, is because you can do it, right? And yeah, to continually motivate myself to the point where I am today is um you definitely, like, you find a new love for yourself. You
Yeah.
really do.
Oh,
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. I feel like I won the lottery.
Because it was funny because you were like you. I remember when you watched the success stories, you doubted would I even be interviewed as well, and
Yeah.
this is amazing to have even this interview with you. Like I feel
Yeah,
so
it's
honored.
it was just so intimidating. So I'm like, I see all these people in these like interviews, and I'm like, oh my God, like these people, like they look so successful. They look like they have their lives together. Like I was in absolute shambles. I had like nothing. I was living in my dad's basement. Like I didn't know what the heck I was gonna do. And then yeah, here I am today. You know,
Was,
less than half a year.
was the investment worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can't wait to continue this relationship and definitely keep going and pop into some group meetings again.
Yeah. Anyhow, well, I'm extremely grateful for you sharing the story and being by your side has been a complete honor. And thank you for being so genuine. Thank you for sharing from your heart and for all the work that you have done. Like, I mean, it takes courage to be where you are. And I really feel extremely proud as a coach. Like, there is not much satisfaction. There is so much satisfaction just to see my clients on the other side. And I just feel so happy and so blessed to have the opportunity to work with you and for you to trust me and to trust your instincts. So thank you, Gage.
Yes, thank you. I can't thank you enough. You know how many times I've said that you know that I'm extremely thankful that the stars aligned somehow and it worked out and I met you through that you know that Facebook
Yeah,
uh, ad to pick up a couch and yeah, it's just crazy how things work out like that. I definitely believe that it was meant to be and I'm so thankful for it.
I'm so glad that you trusted yourself, your instincts, and myself. And I do agree. It was you were meant to do the work that we did together. Um, and without that being said, for anyone who is listening to this and you have curiosity, you wondering if there is anything holding you back or if there is any hidden blocks that are preventing you from your success, you can message me privately. You can message here. I do offer complimentary assessments. They are completely genuine. If I do believe I can take your business or help you get to the next level, I will invite you to work with me. And if not, I will set you on your path with some resources. Um, yeah, so thank you again. And thank you for watching, everyone. Okay, until the next one. Bye bye, everyone.